But we see here the rest of the chapters of the book of Esther, which are found neither in Hebrew nor in Chaldea. Well, where did you find it at? Where did you get this information from? Where did you get it from if you didn't find it in the Hebrew nor in the Aramaic? All right. And it says, listen, this is part of the 10th chapter. All right. Place this right here. Look, put this little section right here. Place in the Greek before chapter 1. This is going to be the new introduction. Place in the Greek after chapter 3 through 13. And all this stuff. Like, you see it. It's there. What are we doing? Place in the Greek after chapter 4, 17, verse 17 of the Hebrew. Neither found in the Hebrew nor, and listen, even if you're talking about you read the prologue of Sirach, a lot of you, or Ecclesiasticus, where the translator is telling you, if you go read it, the translator is telling you, he received this letter from his father, or it was the document from his father or grandfather, something like that. And he's translating it into Greek. All this is Greek. The Apocrypha is all Greek. It's a Greek manuscript. It says, except Ezra, but Ezra, even first Esdras is, they surname it, Greek Ezra, because it is a Greek copy of Ezra. But second Esdras, also, first Esdras is in the Apocrypha. I mean, not in the Apocrypha, but in the Greek Septuagint. Second Esdras is not. But again, going back to Sirach, he's saying he has to go translate these things in Alexandria, Egypt. You can't have an Alexandria, Egypt without Alexander the Great conquering Egypt and building a city called Alexandria, where they had one of the 7 wonders of the world, the Alexandrian Library. I think it's one of the 7 wonders of the world. But they had an Alexandria Library. So a lot of documents are going there and being translated into Greek. All right. A lot of documents are being stored there, being translated into Greek. But we're talking about timelines. So you can't place Sirach in the 7th century BC when he getting it translated in Greek, and that's his grandfather. It's 2 generations. Let's say it's his grandfather. 2 generations back, you can't put that text and then 300 BC, Alexander the Great. You can't place that way back in way back 700-800 BC and say that's what this is. It's not. All right, and then it's words of wisdom. It's a book of wisdom. All right, wisdom and proverbs. Like let me say this. Brothers calling themselves prophets and stuff. Could one of our camp leaders write a book of proverbs? Write a book of proverbs and that he's getting from the text. He's getting it from the text. In their wise sayings. It's great wisdom that this camp leader is giving us, right? Could he write a book and then we canonize it, and then we say, okay, well, this is the book of so and so, who he led the camp so and so 1,000 years ago. Will we make that book canon? Will we say that's God inspired? And that's for you to decide. There's no right or wrong answer. That's for you to decide. That's for you to decide. After Malachi, they say there was no prophet speaking until the New Testament. And there were 400 years of silence. But you can't take that and this. So I'm just trying to give you just insight on what some of the things you're going to have to defend if you're defending this as an Old Testament. Some of these books are Old Testament books written back then that are just now in Greek, but they were written back then, back in the day. I'm just trying to get you to if you're going to defend this, you're going to have your timeline together on these particular texts. All right. Judith, that just means a Jewish woman. You got to find this historically, because people say that this didn't even happen. They say Judith didn't even happen. All right, and there's a lot of problems with Judith. For one, let me show you this. Hold on. Right here, verse 7 in Judith, it says, then Nabuchodonosor, all right, which I think this is the Greek version of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Assyria, sent unto all that dwelt in Persia. Is Nebuchadnezzar the king of Assyria? Is Nebuchadnezzar the king of Assyria? Is he the king of Assyria? Just do your research, y'all. I'm just here to provoke thought. That's it. I'm not here to try to debate doctrine with you, brothers. Especially once things get out of logic and I see your methodology and it doesn't fit, then we can agree to disagree. But I'm just trying to provoke thought, y'all. If you're going to defend this, you have to defend these things. There's things there, and you have to test all things. And to prove all things means to test it. It don't mean, oh man, I gotta show you the evidence of it. No, it means to test, to be proven by God, or be proved by God. You gotta be tested. So test these things. If you're gonna defend the Apocrypha, test it. And so when you see certain things like, what we seen in Esther, we seen in Judah, we talking about second Esdras, we talking about people saying that the first two chapters, last two chapters of second Esdras were added by Christians. We saying that later, all right, the breakdown of the eagle heads, dealing with Greek leaders, up to 78. Like, you have to, you have to defend these things, because they're gonna come up. You're gonna be out there on those streets, and these things will come up. So if you need to build your defense, if you're going to accept these things, or you could listen. The other side of it is, it's a 2nd century, CE, between 2nd century BC to CE, up to 4th century CE. It's still a 2,000-year manuscript. Okay, it's still an early manuscript to glean from the way we were thinking and the way, just the way we were thinking and doing certain things. You still can glean from for me, but some people may not be like that. And then if you can accept that, what about all these other texts? What about all these pseudo-epigrapha books that you don't deal with? What about these books that were in the Greek Septuagint, like the Adam and Eve and the 12 patriarchs and the Enoch and all these other old texts that were in the Greek Septuagint? But you have texts like Second Esdras that weren't. But we accept Second Esdras, but we don't accept these other texts. So we have to deal with that and try to build your defense, man. That's all I'm trying to tell you to do. You ain't got to battle me in comments. Just listen to the information. And if it's trash, you go ahead with it. But if you see problems in certain things, then, try to address those things, because it's not going to be me in front of you. I deal with you wherever you do. You accept the Apocrypha or not? You don't accept it, then we don't have to deal with it. I'm not going to go back and forth with you trying to prove or trying to validate anything. It is what it is for me. And it should be that way for you. Shalom. There was a time when I was in college, and